Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of season 2 of the Next Dimension Podcast, your podcast that's all about VR and AR. And I'm so looking forward to tonight's show because we have a very special guest. It's Stan Larroque, the CEO and founder of Lynx, the next mixed reality headset. Stan, how are you doing?
Good, and you?
Oh, I'm really good. I am so looking forward to talk with you and, well, to have all of our questions about the Lynx mixed reality headset answered. So this is going to be pretty amazing. You are in Paris right now?
Yeah, I'm at home Saturday night in Paris. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sounds a bit more interesting than Saturday night in Dortmund, where I am. But anyways, we're going to have a great night together here. And also here with me, of course, Gary Walkden, the author of The Memory Engine and the Immersed Robot YouTube channel. Gary, how are you doing tonight?
Good, thank you. Yeah, really good. Pleased to be here and talk about the Lynx, because this is one of the projects that I've been following for the past few weeks, really. I know I've heard about it, in the background for quite a long time, but it's during these past few weeks, this past month or so, where I feel like it's really started to ramp up and get a lot of excitement around the project as well. So I'm looking forward to talking to Stan about that, yeah.
Exactly. Same here. I'm super excited about this whole project and to learn everything about it. And wow, we're going to have some good time together. My name is Sebastian. I'm the founder of MRTV and I'm the host of the Next Dimension Podcast. For all the people out there who don't know this podcast yet, it is a podcast about VR and AR and mixed reality. And it's live streamed every Saturday at 9 p.m. in Paris time, 8 p.m. in London, 12 noon in San Francisco and 3 p.m. in New York City. And we are also an audio podcast. You can find us on iTunes, on Spotify, on Google, on Alexa, everywhere where you can find podcasts. And if you love this podcast, we would be very happy if you give us a good review. Simply open your iPad or your iPhone, go to the podcast app, find the Next Dimension Podcast, and give us a 5-star review. We'll be super happy about that. All right, so today's show, we will talk about augmented reality. We're going to talk about what Facebook is planning, and we're going to talk about the competition, which is the Lynx. Actually, right now, it is the Lynx. It is the Lynx from Paris. So this is going to be interesting to find out how Stan and team want to pull this off. It sounds a bit like David against Goliath. If you think about it, I think, Stan, you are a 15-man team, right? Is it?
Yeah, we are. The core team is 15 people. Yeah.
Wow, 15 people against, I think, 10,000 people at Facebook who are working on augmented reality and virtual reality. And wow, that is going to be so interesting. So, before we go into our weeks, normally we talk about what we did in general. For all the people who have never heard about the Lynx, Stan, could you give us probably a 1-minute talk about what it is? Describe what you're working on. What is the Lynx mixed reality headset?
Yeah, sure. So the Lynx is a headset, like you said, for mixed reality. So it's a headset that is untethered, no cable, like the new headsets out there usually, and it can do VR, like a regular VR headset. But one of the cool stuff also that it can do AR. It can do augmented reality in the best way possible with the biggest field of view you can imagine for AR. And it has all the bells and whistles you might expect from a standalone modern headset, like hand tracking, SIG stuff, controllers, work in progress stuff, but high resolution, very cool new optics. And my team has been iterating on all aspects of what is an HMD actually. So mechanical, electrical, optical, everything from the software to all the way down to the silicon hardware.
Wow. Okay, so this is, probably one of the very first standalone mixed reality headsets. Is it correct if I say it like this?
I think it's the first one. We can say it's the first true MR standalone headset. So that there is non-standalone MR headsets. You talk about one not so long ago, but as far as untethered, I think we are the first.
Yeah, right. At the moment, there's another great mixed reality headset, right? The Vario XR3. And I have the VR3 here on the channel, which is really an amazing VR headset. But, well, this is kind of like, it's like tethered. It has like two big, cables going out of this. And, this indeed, it does look lightweight, like a standalone headset that you could probably wear for a couple of hours if you want to. So this is something totally different. Very, very cool. Yeah, great. We're going to talk a lot about this headset, right? So this is just like a very short introduction for all the people who have never heard about the Lynx. And also, probably you can tell us a bit more, also probably 1 minute, about when can people buy this or support your Kickstarter? When is it going to happen? So this is going to be a Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, so it's... So we are not a big company. So you have to understand that it's also our first product. And my team we have a lot of experience in VR and AR, but it's our first large scale product. And we're doing a Kickstarter for that for a few reasons. The first one is the Kickstarter will allow us to pinpoint an exact number of orders for the batches we're going to produce. There is a silicon shortage, there is a crisis for some of the components we have in headsets. So we need to be able to know exactly how much components we have to order. And also It allows us to pay immediately for the manufacturing of the headsets that we intend to deliver in February 2022 with a Kickstarter coming up in September. So if you want to buy a new headset or try something else that is not Facebook or other big companies out there, start to take some of a few $100s on the side, and we'll discuss all that in September.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we will discuss this tonight. Actually,
Yeah.
we want to find out everything about it. Okay, so before our show, normally we talk about what we did last week, and Stan, tell us. So you are the founder and CEO of Lynx,
Yeah.
and how does your day-to-day life look like? Are you actually an engineer by trade, or what are you actually doing? Tell us, or probably, how did your life change after you told the people that you're going to go consumer? Did everything change?
So, a few weeks ago, everything changed. But, what I say at the office is that, Lynx is basically, it's a TV series. Too much things are happening. Stories will be told in a book soon, probably. But so far, when I started making a HMD, I was doing everything by myself. I'm an engineer, and I was trying to do everything by myself. So I did everything, but in a bad way. So everything was working, but not all the pieces were there, but it was hard to assemble and all that. And so I hired a team, and I raised money to do something professional, something that people will actually want to buy and use. And now I am one of the youngest people in my team, and the role I have today is CEO and also technically CTO. I take all the decisions that the team is presenting to me, and what direction should we take. I'm the CTO in that regard, and I'm also still doing a bit of software stuff. I did the eye tracking software. I miss that part. I miss doing stuff, but it's part of growing the company.
Okay, wow, interesting. So probably now you're doing more of business development and telling the people about this, being on shows like this, and just trying to get the word out, right? Is it like this?
Exactly. This period that we're in, since we announced that we are shifting toward consumers and all the way to the Kickstarter. My job is what I'm doing tonight with you also, to share
Perfect.
what we're doing and try to make people understand like the values that we bring with that headset.
Okay. Well, but it also sounds quite fun to be here on the show.
Yeah.
and to hear like feedback from the people. So tell us probably another 1 minute or two, how has the feedback been since you told the world that you want to go more from enterprise only to consumers? What is the feedback that you get? Is it like people look forward to it, or people are skeptical, or what is the feedback that you get?
So first the feedback was very valuable because and it was part of our strategy to tell everything in advance so we can see if we needed to make some changes in the product definition and what we're doing. But so far the feedback is very good. I was overwhelmed by the feedback 3 weeks ago when we changed our direction towards consumer, because of course people were happy about the price that is going to drop a lot from what we intended to. And we still have all the businesses that wanted to order the headset before, when we were only an enterprise oriented company, that are still going to buy the headset nonetheless. So we didn't lose any customer, and we are talking to a new community. And that is the dangerous part, because it's much more different than enterprise. Of course, the expectations are not the same. The content you have to build, the ecosystem is just another order of magnitude. But from what we saw online, and maybe you saw some of them as well, people, a part of the VR community was actually kind of waiting for a Quest competitor, I guess, but also something more open and something they can that is also affordable and not like headsets like the Vive Focus that is maybe too expensive.
Okay.
So yeah, we try to fit in this channel and in this segment of the market. It's super hard. It's a huge bet, and I will lie to you if I say that I'm not scared. But
yeah, of course.
here we are.
Okay, let's say you are leaving your comfort zone a bit here.
Yeah.
like a little
My
bit.
job.
Yeah. And suddenly everybody wants controllers.
Oh yeah.
Probably that's something that you never thought before when you were dealing enterprise only, right? But suddenly everybody wants controllers.
Yeah, and it made sense for us when we were more gearing to enterprise, because enterprise headsets, people are working when they're using the headsets, so they want to be hands-free. So we did a lot of investment and partnership with Ultralip for the hand tracking. It's working great, but when you are discussing with consumers and especially gamers, suddenly the input is not the same. You want precision, you want triggers, you need different type of actions. So it was new for us. Of course, at the office we have something that is like the back of your room here. We have all the headsets, so
right.
We know what are controllers, of course. And right now part of the team is evaluating the options we have.
Okay.
But so far we have the hardware on board of Lynx to be compatible with controllers.
Okay.
I can discuss that later.
We will discuss this later. Okay, cool. Yeah, great, cool. Yeah, we'll talk way more about the headset and everything involved later. So this is just like a little beginning. Gary, how about you? How was your last week?
Pretty good. Not quite as exciting as Stan's, I think. You should have led with me, to be honest, Sebastian, because now I'm going to be a bit of a disappointment. But
me too. Don't worry.
No, the main thing this past week, then, I suppose, is Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is exciting for some people.
A lot of people.
A lot of people, actually, yeah. So there was a big update that was dropped this past week, Sim Update 5. And they do this thing where they have like world updates and then they have Sim updates, these two separate things. So with the world update, it's obviously scenery, photogrammetry, things like that around the world and the map itself. And then you have the Sim updates, which is within the... I hesitate to say game because some people don't consider it a game, but the game itself, the performance. And that's exactly what this latest update was primarily attacking, because it was with the simultaneous launch on the Xbox platform as well.
Right.
So,
exactly.
of course, the team were working on optimizations in order to get the performance up on that. And that is translated as well over to the PC. And so I've just been, doing some side-by-side comparisons with Sim Update 4 and Sim Update 5, just to see the difference in performance. It's interesting, and there is a difference for me. Some people were having sort of mixed experiences with this stuff, and some people are having some crashes and stuff like that. As there always is with any major update with any game, there are sort of teething problems, but they've released a hotfix. I've yet to try that since the hotfix, but I wasn't having too many problems anyway with it. So really, I mean, I've just been experimenting a lot with Microsoft Flight Simulator this past week, because I'm sure Steve...
It's a great game.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, simulation.
Yeah, but Steve, who's not on the show, I think
Right.
he's done a few videos on it as well this past week, because of course he was bound to really dive into that. But yeah, it's just a fantastic experience all around. And the fact is, the thing that separates it from the thing that's allowed me to get into it more than anything else is the fact that you can fly anywhere around the world. It's that USP, it's that unique selling point.
Right.
That you can go anywhere in the world, pick a location and fly over it. Now, they're not always perfectly rendered or anything like that, depending on where you're going. But the big areas, the huge points of interest they're so detailed. They look fantastic. There. So, yeah, it's a great game. And that's been my week. How about you?
I must also I cannot live up to Stan's week, which is more exciting. I think I should also make a headset. That would be more exciting, probably. So I have been working on the headset reviews. So I also do written reviews now on my website on mrtv.co. So I have some extra work now, since now I have to write all the reviews down. So I'm working on the written review of the Focus 3 from HTC. I'm also working on the written review of the Vario VR3. And that takes a long time, because I'm very particular about these written reviews. And once I'm ready with them, then I will make the videos now. So my kind of workflow has changed a bit, and therefore not many videos this week on the channel, but more the behind the scenes work. Yeah, so also just me sitting in front of the PC and writing. Yeah, well, it's okay. It's also good work. And people can read those reviews now. If you want to check it out, mrtv.co. You will find all my reviews for all the headsets, for all the accessories. And I hope that everyone enjoys the website. Okay, so now, this week, we don't have so many current topics. And therefore, since Stan is now there, I want to talk about some topics that were actually new last week, and it's about Facebook unlocking some AR capabilities. And for sure, Stan, you've also been watching and hearing about these news. So, like we talked about last week already, Facebook is now unlocking AR capabilities for developers for the Quest 2, making the Quest 2, which is already available for a very cheap price of $299, and your privacy and data. That's what I always say when I talk about this price. But now it's also becoming some kind of a mixed reality headset with that pass-through, with that monochrome pass-through, and people can play with that. Pass-through is now open for developers, and they can draw into reality. They can change how their reality looks with some filters, and some interesting stuff they can do. And now I would like to ask you, since this is your domain, what do you think about this move? Do you think that Facebook is very big into the mixed reality game as well? Your domain that you want to actually conquer? And what are your thoughts in general about Facebook, how important this is for Facebook actually?
I think it is very important for them. I think they understand, like we do and like some other companies do as well, that the right way to AR right now is video pass-through.
Okay.
There are no two ways around that. When you see devices like HoloLens or Magic Leap, which are optical see-through devices, They don't have the fidelity, the contrast, the colors, the field of view you might have with the pass-through. And for video see-through is also much cheaper than optical see-through devices when you compare the price of a Quest 2 and a HoloLens, for example. So you can see there is a huge gap, like 10x. And I think we are going to see Facebook, but not only Facebook, also other companies bringing new hardware with video color, of course, video pass-through next year and maybe the year after that. In the next, and I'm very happy. It's also working for my agenda as well, because I've been saying that for a long time, and we're working on that for a long time. We know what works, we know what doesn't work. And I think we are bringing a very compelling device that will kind of look like what you're going to see from our competitors. And we just, Facebook, they exist for, Oculus, they exist for 8 years now. Facebook has a huge head start, and I'm not saying we're catching up because they have a huge ecosystem, but on the hardware, at least, we are going to play with the same tools. So it's going to be interesting.
With the Quest 2 pass through, specifically when I look at this, because one of the things, to me, this is the first step. That's the first thing to say from Facebook's point of view, because the pass through really isn't adequate on the Quest 2 in order to get a great experience in the kind of pass through that you're offering with the Lynx. That from what we've seen from the videos and stuff like that. With the Facebook pass through, it's monochromatic. It's also very, very low resolution, but it's opening up. To me, this is almost what Apple are doing with the AR on their phones. It's almost like getting developers on board at that stage, getting them on now in an early format in order to get the content that is going to be required to run these things when they eventually do come to fruition. And that's what I'm seeing from Facebook opening this up. To me, in the Quest 2 format, it's not really practical for most use cases, although I think there are specific use cases where it could be interesting in the here and now. But I think it's just a first step for them, getting developers within the ecosystem and starting to experiment with AR. Very similar, as I mentioned, with what Apple are doing on their mobile phones at the moment. But yeah, to me, it's an interesting direction for them to go in, and it's almost an inevitable direction for them to go in as well. As you mentioned, Stan, this is something that so many companies are going to get into over the next few years. And if pass-through is the first way and the best way in today that we can get this kind of great AR experience, then why not pursue that wholeheartedly?
Right. Gary, I know that you are kind of interested in augmented reality, and you've been toying with the idea of buying a headset, right? like the Unreal, for example. But probably now it's going to be the Lynx.
Yeah, well, I go on eBay sometimes and just see how
Really?
much like Magic Leap ones. I want to use a device for a period of time,
right?
And like even there's one on eBay at the moment. Actually, people in the UK can go. Well, anyone can go on and see. It's a Meta. The Meta 2 AR
right? Yes,
headset
I know.
From a long time ago. There's one of those available, but yeah, I've not really dived in, and I think I'm moving over because I've not actually tried a true AR system, and I know that because of the way the waveguides and things like that, the way it has to display, things don't look solid. They don't all like sync perfectly with the background. They don't really feel like they're part of the real world. Whereas with pass-through AR, it's better for synchronizing things, for making things more solid, and for giving you the AR experience you probably expect when you hear what these kinds of things are capable of. So yeah, I'm holding off. I'm not going to purchase any Magic Leap 1 or anything at the moment. I'll wait for the Lynx Kickstarter.
Yeah, right. It makes sense, I think. So yeah, because like when I looked at this through the lens video, let me show this again. It just looks so much better than the augmented reality that I can get through, for example, the HoloLens. I also have the HoloLens here. I paid it. I bought it. It's like for thousands of euros. And then it doesn't look really good, actually. Stan, for sure, you have looked through the HoloLens too, right? And there's some strange rainbow effect. It's not good. It's terrible, actually.
What we say is it's a HMD, head-mounted display, HMD. And HoloLens, they forget the D, they forget the display, they forget that the color should be right and
Okay.
all
Yeah,
that.
right.
So this is the footage you're seeing right now is a direct, GoPro shooting through the lens of Lynx with no after effect post processing or stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
that's
it was a
really
few months ago. We have much better now. We did some tuning on the colors, and you can see in some part of the video the distortion might be off by a few pixels, and
okay.
we're doing even better right now. And you can see the colors, the opacity of the holograms are already very, very good. And the field of view, you might not realize that on the video, but it's 90 degrees by 90 degrees, which is for AR. I mean, you
Yeah.
know that, but it's
Right.
huge compared to what the other devices are doing.
Exactly. And for the tracking, it also looks good. Like this, the stuff stays exactly where it's supposed to stay. It looks good.
So we calibrate the headset with a robot arm for the 6DoF, where we align the two 6DoF cameras and the IMU, and the tracking is using very low level hardware on the Qualcomm chipset, I'm very happy with the algorithm that are running on the headset now.
Right.
The other interesting thing with pass-through AR is the fact that some stuff that I've heard many times before is the black levels in transparent AR glasses and that kind of stuff. You can't really get any. You can't replicate black. It just isn't possible. So the black of your base level is within the background of whatever you have if you looking through these transparent lenses. So that's the other advantage of pass-through. You can create true blacks, true shadows, and true,
Exactly.
all these true colors. These are some of the things that you just don't understand. It's like using a Magic Leap 1 or a HoloLens out on a bright sunny day. It's impossible. You can't do it because it just can't emit enough light to have any impact on these digital objects that it's overlaying on the real world. Again, pass-through can adapt to that really much better.
Yeah,
Agreed.
exactly. It's free for us to project black on our display like shadows. There is another footage of Lynx that we released a few days ago that we are showing like real-time shadows on the ground, and you just cannot do that with other headsets.
Showing
I'm
it
telling
right now.
people, it's not like software, it's physics. You cannot project black on a device like HoloLens or Magic Leap or Unreal devices, and you can try all the way you want. And for us, it's by default. It's like what you see on your mobile phone when you play on Pokemon Go, except that here, it's so much more immersive.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, but now we actually got lost a bit because we like to talk about your headset. We were actually talking about Facebook. So Facebook also seems to see mixed reality as something important for them. They would not introduce it now in the Quest 2 if it wasn't important to them, right? So what do you think for Facebook? How important is this mixed reality and augmented reality going to be for the future Quest headsets?
I think it won't be a surprise if we see RGB pass-through, color pass-through in the next Quest.
Okay.
I don't exactly know what they're doing, but I know what they don't want for the ecosystem. They don't want any other player.
In general, yeah.
Just don't like other people, right? They tend to hire everybody. They have this 10,000 people FRL lab, Facebook Reality Lab. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg just said, VR is my thing, and boom, here are some $1 billion. So they are pouring billions into this field, and they just don't want to have another player use their investment to educate people for another headset. So they want to stay at the top, but not only at the top, they want to be the only one. And today they are the only one. Can you buy another headset for the same price as the Quest with all that content, all that features? I don't think so. And
no. Right.
And MR will be the same field. it will be the same battlefield that they've done with VR. And it starts with pass-through, and maybe in the future it will be optical see-through, like a pair of glass. But nothing changes for me. They just want to kill everyone.
Okay.
And you know what you said was true when you said your data and your privacy. I tell that to people. You know, like, you didn't buy a Facebook headset. Facebook bought you.
Yeah.
It's the other way around, and we have to explain that to people.
That's what I always do here, like to make people understand what's going on, right? It's not like I want to tell them, no, don't buy the thing. I just want to give them the knowledge to understand what's actually happening, right? That actually Facebook is going to make lots of money from the data that they get from your headset or where you look at for the Quest 3.
Yeah.
If it has eye tracking, right? They will make so much money just by allowing advertisers to know where people look at. This kind of information is like so worth so much money, and advertisers normally pay lots for this kind of data.
Yeah.
But Stan, I want to ask you, what's going to happen if Mr. Zuckerberg is going to say to you, Stan, I love your drive. I love what you've been doing. Your Kickstarter has been amazing. You know what? I'm going to buy your company, including the Lynx, for $500 million.
You know,
Now we're talking, right?
I'm 27. I'm not doing that for the money. My team has the same opinion. We especially from Facebook, we just won't care. If we were working to sell to Facebook, we would have taken offers a long time ago. And my team will be gone. They would be hired by Facebook already. So we all the big players, they discuss with us at some point. I can't tell any names here, but the ecosystem is small enough that everyone knows everyone here, and yeah, I don't see a future where we will be part of Facebook. I want to sleep at night.
Yeah, this is the same here with the channel. Exactly.
Yeah,
I love that
no
feeling.
Mark Zuckerberg, I think it was spinned off by the press a few days ago. He said something like, people will not see us as a social media company, but more like a VR company.
A metaverse company.
Metaverse company. And that's false. It's not a social media company. It's not a metaverse company. It's an ad company.
Right.
There's no two ways around it again.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, that's great. For sure, when sometime in the future there actually is an offer, probably you guys will think again about it. But I really like, what you stand for, and I hope you will see it through. But
trust me.
Okay.
Anything from Facebook is just a no-go for us.
Okay, right. Yeah, you know what? I trust you. I love that the French stubbornness. yeah, really.
What is
really?
that?
No. If you have, what is that? It means like you want something, or you stand for something, and then you will fight for it.
Yeah,
that's what I think. It's like I don't know if I would call it the French stubbornness, but I've seen it with French people.
I mean, I'm fortunate enough to work on something I love and I created. I have a very good salary. I don't need billions of dollars right now in my life, so it's not.
It can come later. It's okay. You're still young.
Yeah, I just want to ship this device and see people use it and enjoy that. And love the product.
Okay, wow.
This is a huge drive,
Yeah, I know. I believe you. I think it must be fantastic once people use the thing that you've been working on for the last couple of years. It must be magical, I think.
Yeah.
Right. And it's going to happen very soon.
And we are seeing that with the prototypes, and it's already happening.
Okay.
You mentioned as well, it's a risk. So you're putting things on the line as well in order to get this product out there. So that speaks a lot towards what you were saying as well. This isn't something where you're just thinking, I can, I'm going to. It's almost like putting all your eggs in one basket. You're putting yourself forwards with this product that you believe in, and then giving it out to a consumer in a consumer way. And that speaks volumes, I think, by putting everything on the line with this one product and that you truly believe in. And, that speaks louder than selling up to other people anyway, I think.
I hope so. I'm sure people understand, and we need a European emerging MR company. Europe failed at everything else in consumer electronics, almost. We
Really?
don't have. I mean, can you name a successful smartphone from Europe? You have to think. You see, just the fact that you have to think
right. I can remember there were some from France, like Alcatel, and right. Yeah, that's a long time ago. I know.
Yeah.
And in Germany we had some too, but they're gone now. I totally agree with that. Yeah,
What
sure.
you're forgetting is,
I'm explaining to people, in the government or in Europe, we have to put money on the line for MR, for AR and VR today. Because
Agreed.
we are going to wake up in 5 years and we will want to have the 35 grams glasses like we'll see on the market somehow. But if we didn't start to design and to manufacture like the big bricks we're still doing today, you won't catch up for the glasses in 5 years. You won't catch up for the mass market.
You're right. We have to start
Europe
now.
is catching up and they say, okay, we missed almost everything else, the search engine, the smartphone, even the computers. Let's try that. And this is why I'm still not in the US, even though we have a lot of partners there, like Qualcomm and Nvidia and all that. But there is room for someone in Europe to build something that is on par with the hardware of the US or Asia.
Right. I agree. I like your thinking, and totally agree that we have to start somewhere now or we will lose touch with Facebook for sure. Yeah, cool. So, there's lots of people who don't yet understand what AR will do for us and what AR is going to become. So could you please give us the vision for the AR future, let's say in 5 to 10 years, in this area of time, or let's say in 10 years. In 10 years, what do you think will AR do for us? How is it going to change our lives, and what is our normal day flow going to be with these AR glasses? Paint us this picture of the future and make us understand why AR is going to be so big.
So I can start with what AR won't do. So AR will not replace your smartphone. It will not replace your laptop. Just like the smartphone did not replace the laptop and the laptop didn't replace the desktop. We still have all these things around us. But it will be it is a new man-machine interface. It's a new way to input stuff from a computer and get some output in a new visual way. And today it's certainly visual, but it will be on it will check other sensors as, sensory input as well. And I think in 5 to 10 years, we might wear some stuff on our head, but they won't look like glasses. I don't wear glasses. I don't need traditional glasses. I don't want to wear them. It would be, even traditional glasses, it will be too much for me. I don't want them. And now you have to explain to me, you have to charge them, you have to clean them, or be careful of the camera here. It is not going to look.
But they will give you superpowers.
The social aspect of this stuff is going to be crucial, and it will be done with first the luxury brands and then the fashion brands, because the tech guys, we cannot figure this out. It is a lost battle. The mistake a lot of big companies, I think, this is my opinion, are doing today is they are chasing this future where the glasses in the form factor you already know will incorporate the electronics and the displays. And they are doing this insane challenge of engineering to fit everything inside of something that people don't want to wear. So there is this stuff with Ray-Ban and Facebook.
I just wanted to talk about it. Exactly. Yeah.
And this is a much better step, because the guys at Ray-Ban, I hope they will say, we can do traditional glasses with that. We have to think about something else, something more fashion, like a different kind of form factor. Maybe it won't even be called glasses, but it will certainly be light. It will be balanced on the head. I hope so. And it will give you superpowers. But don't be mistaken. I'm not sure it will be the glasses we all imagine today. We imagine that because this is what we know already. But you have to think about something different.
Okay, but what is it going to be like in 10 years? What will I use these glasses for? Let's say I am a glasses wearer, so I think in 10 years there will be some kind of augmentation going on in these glasses. Actually, these already do augment audio. Yeah. These are already some other glasses. So what do you think? Why should we be excited for augmented reality? What is really going to happen when I go out of my house in 10 years? What will I see in your opinion?
So I think you will see and hear a lot. I think that the audio part of the AR experience is going to be present with your personal, AI assistant that knows you well and all that reads all the biometric from your watch and your glasses, and with eye tracking you pretty much have everything from someone.
Right.
So you will. I think we'll use more and more stuff like Siri or Alexa than today with this kind of stuff. And talking to yourself in the street might seem even more normal at this time.
Okay.
But the visual you're going to see, I think, will be not as much as images, but symbology, like letters and lines, rather than full color images, like the immersion we know in VR and pass through today, like notification. I think it's going this way. Like you wake up, you have your glasses, they tell you the weather and what kind of clothes to pick in your cupboard to get dressed. There are some market studies that are done, and the more mature ecosystem to receive AR glasses is China, actually. The Asian market is much more mature than what we expect as a European, maybe. When we describe this future, it's hard to believe, but some people are already expecting this kind of experiences. But this is for the glasses, light, on edge kind of devices, but in the future, just to finish on that, I think you will see more. I think even in 10 years, pass-through headsets in businesses, in a lot of jobs. Really, like your doctor, your the training of soldiers and industrial use. Yeah, this is going to be very common.
I really hope you're wrong, Stan, because I want these AR glasses. I want them, and I guess that's a selfish reason for me wanting you to be wrong. But I do want these AR glasses, and I believe. I mean, I think you've got some really solid points there, and I've spoke to my brother about this actually, and I've described these future AR glasses that could potentially look like real, standard glasses that we have today. I know the technology is very difficult to ever get into that form factor anyway, but I've described the dream of what they could be to my brother, and he said he still wouldn't buy them because he doesn't want to wear glasses all the time. And I think that is a barrier to overcome. However, there is this argument as well to say something along the lines of, I don't want to carry a black brick in my pocket all the time. But because it has all of this functionality, the functionality of a phone just elevates it to the point where you don't mind the inconvenience of carrying it around. And it's not really that much of an inconvenience. So it doesn't have to overcome that much. I'll give you that. But I think that if you get a pair of AR glasses which has all this functionality, and I agree with some of your points with regards to, I believe that like first generations of these glasses or first 2-3 generations could potentially be what you're describing as notification-based type headwear, really. Like probably what Facebook is working on, probably what the first generation of Apple, if they ever do their glass thing, will be notification-based, the watch in glasses format, and it will be that. I don't think we're going to get all of these digital wonders that are popping up everywhere as we walk down the streets or anything like that. But I hope that will come. That's what I would love to happen. And you're far more invested in this technology than me. You know far more about the technology than me and the path that it's going on. So I can sort of reserve judgment on that. It's just really what I want, I guess. That's what I'm describing here.
Gary, I think it's going to happen at one point in time. It really depends on the time. Probably not in 5 years, too early, right? Exactly agree with Stan. Probably just some notifications. But yeah, 10 years down the line, I'm pretty sure that our world is augmented. And especially advertisements. I'm just thinking about it. I'm going out. And I've described it here quite a few times on the podcast. And we have to choose which AR layer are we using. Are we using the AR layer from Facebook, Google, or from Lynx perhaps? And they will give us different kind of superpowers. Like I see a car and I don't know what model it is. And then I say, okay, what model is it? And then boom, it pops up. This is the Tesla Model Y. And then I can directly pre-order it by clicking into the air, or I see some product in some shop if there's still normal shops, and I just want to have like a price comparison. Okay, now what I do, I get my phone out. I have to go to the website that has this functionality and all this stuff, right? But then I just look at it and I say, okay, best price, and boom, it pops up, and I can directly order it. That's how I envision that AR future, just giving us some superpowers, just saving us these precious seconds of getting that phone out. So in my opinion, it is going to take away quite some functionality of the phone and giving us better functionality of the phone. Don't you think so, Stan?
About the last use case you mentioned, there are many ways to do AR, and a few of them are not wearing something on your head, not glasses, no headset. When you go in front of that shop, it's the technology of the glass of the shop will be the same as the HoloLens glass. So you would see, directly when you're from the street, the shop can use like cameras at the top to do some eye tracking and face recognition and say, oh, you went in front of the shop yesterday, but today on this watch, there is a promotion just for you.
Right.
And this is also part of our future.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that's as scary as what you mentioned.
Yeah, right. It's going to happen for sure. Okay, so yeah, Facebook is also working on that for sure. And let's see how everything plays out. The next little topic I want to ask your opinion about, Stan, is that Facebook is now adopting the OpenXR standard. What do you think about this news, that Facebook also now is supporting it? Obviously, it's good, I would say, right? But what do you think are the reasons for that happening?
I mean, I think it's amazing. The Oculus team was the first to draft the OpenXR proposal a few years ago. Mm-hmm. It's not only Oculus, but all the ecosystem is moving towards OpenXR. And this is really great, especially for a small player like us, because the OpenXR runtime will allow developers to port their experiences to other devices much more easily. And on the hardware side, they are going to benefit from everything, like all the particularities of the hardware much more easily. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited that Oculus is moving to OpenXR, because we are also moving to OpenXR. It's going to ship in Q4 with our team for Lynx. We're working already on the runtime. There is also Unity, Unreal. Everyone will support OpenXR runtime. So it's great. It's like kind of the beginning of the World Wide Web, where we start to have a standard and everyone can talk to everyone. So right now it's on the developer level, but in the future I hope it's going to be even more than that.
Okay, yeah, that sounds really interesting. So yeah, just like you said, because the games or all the apps, they will work on all headsets. It's perfect for little smaller players like you, right? Because there will be content automatically. So Yeah, that's something to look forward to. But still, it depends on the hardware, right? In some headsets, there's an XR2, or some PC VR headsets, they have more power. So it's not like, okay, automatically, if it supports OpenXR, like all the headsets will play it. No, you still need to look at how many polygons are being rendered, right?
Exactly. And the hardware, the OpenXR runtime will help you, to show you like, oh, you can use that kind of power on this hardware. You have like to downgrade or upgrade your renderings if you're a developer. And what's cool, with OpenXR is that the Valve team at SteamVR is working on OpenXR. We've been discussing with them, to have Lynx compatible with your SteamVR games. And with OpenXR, it will be very easy to integrate a connection between the SteamVR client and an OpenXR compliant headset like Lynx.
Okay.
The other thing, because Oculus have, of course, they've supported OpenXR for a while. I think that the fact with what this news story is basically saying now is what's come out is that they are now prioritizing it, which is,
right.
That's the huge thing, really. So some of these new features that they are developing will be prioritized for OpenXR, which is the huge thing here. And, that makes... There's a couple of things this week, and I don't know, we'll probably get onto another thing that we'll discuss, but there's a couple of things that have actually impressed me a lot with what Facebook are doing, and this is one of them. That prioritizing is a huge thing for me, and there's another thing as well which I want to get to, which we touched on with the metaverse stuff. There's just a couple of things. Now, I just want to give credit where it's due with Facebook, because we have to understand as well, to a certain extent, with what they are saying, they're trying to say the right things to please us. But with this OpenXR story, it's hard fact. They're prioritizing it, and that's great news.
Yeah, agree. That is really something that we all think is good. And yeah, good to hear that also some positive news are coming out of it.
And I just want to do a shout out to the Oculus team at Facebook, the product and the R&D teams. I really admire them. They're doing an amazing job. I might not agree with Facebook, the umbrella company and the policies, but the people, building the products, they really are some of the best. Yeah.
I totally agree to that. And like the same for me. Like I'm very critical about the policies, right? The forced Facebook login and all the stuff that comes with this. But the hardware itself and the engineering of the Quest 2 is fantastic. And I really like the device. And I would love the device if it wasn't for those privacy issues. But I totally agree with you, Stan. Okay, but now actually, let's start to talk about this here. Let's start to talk about your baby, the Lynx. And let's really deep dive into what it is. So, how long have you been working on this? And
Too long.
yeah, how long? Tell us how long?
2 years now. So 2 years would be the time where we started doing something very serious about this product. Yeah.
Okay, so 2 years. And actually, it was meant for enterprise customers. So for that original use case, tell us more about the original use case. Why do companies need this? And is that something that they are supposed to use instead of a HoloLens 2, for example?
Yeah, so at the time, I pitched the headset as being better than HoloLens 2 or even HoloLens 1 at the time. I'm not saying it's not difficult, but it was certainly achievable with the kind of pass-through we were using. As I told you, the field of view, the colors, the contrast, the immersion is just much better than the HoloLens or Magic Leap. The field of view, as I told you, is 90 degrees by 90 degrees. It's 52 degrees for HoloLens 2. It's not much more for Magic Leap. So we gain in field of view. We pitch that more as an AR device than a VR and AR device. We emphasize more on the AR stuff and the hand tracking and this kind of use case for enterprise where you want to train yourself to do something. If you're a doctor or an industrial person getting trained to to fix an engine, for example, or if you want to be trained as a military personnel.
Okay.
So those were the first use case. I think the biggest one were training, any kind of professional training. And I still believe that in the near future, it will be very common. You want to learn a new job, you put a headset on your head, and you're either in VR or AR.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. So when you first told the world about it, I think there were news on Road to VR, for example, and others. So what happened? Did companies approach you? Did they want to buy it directly? Did you make some demos for them? Tell us about that time. There was I guess it was 9 months ago or something, or a year or something like this.
It was a year and a half ago.
Okay, wow, a year and a half ago already. Okay.
So February 2020.
Yeah.
Which now feels like 10 years ago with COVID.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, you're right, exactly.
Yeah. So we did the announcement in February, okay? And then in March, the world stopped.
Right.
So we couldn't make as much demos as we wanted. We couldn't start manufacturing the headset because, everyone panicked. But we took that time with the team to redesign the headset and to make it even better. So when you look at the first images of Lynx on the internet, it's not looking like what it is today. It was a little bit bigger, a more more cumbersome, a more clunky. Right now it's very polished. We took the time necessary to have something very professional. And a lot of companies wanted to order the device, but at the time we could not take orders, only pre-orders. And when you're a company, you don't do pre-orders, right? It's not very common. You wait for something real to ship. So it was very difficult to get the product out of the door because people were not ready to buy it before they can be sure to demo it in the company and all that. So that was a bit hard for us, to be honest. It was hard because we couldn't show traction to investors and shareholders. So we had like thousands of people. Oh, I really want to buy that, but I cannot because you're a new company, you're doing pre-orders, and we want to make just orders. So we are going to wait for you to ship the headset.
Okay.
But for us to ship the headset, it's a few $1 million that we didn't have at the time. So it was it was spiraling in a bad way. And so I tried to get some more investors beginning of 2021. So I went to the US a few months ago to pitch investors, to meet people in the space as well, some partners and all that. And because of that lack of traction, it did not go really well as intended. So I didn't get any good deals from that period. And I think one of my mistakes also was to demo a product that was not 100% finished. So the experience was not as great as what the device really brings on the table. And when I got back from the US 2 months ago, it was at the time that beginning of June, Facebook say, "Oh, hey, hi guys, guess what? Now you have to log in with Facebook, and now there are going to be some ads in the headsets as well." And I was, I was kind of fed up because the other guys in the game, they are playing with billions of dollars they are getting from mostly advertisement and getting your privacy in a bad way, and I couldn't get any financing. A European company, a French company doing hardware in AR, where a lot of investors lost money in the last years, especially with Magic Leap. You know the story.
Yeah,
so it
right.
was hard, and I say, well, you know what? Let's shift everything. Let's go directly to consumer. We only wanted to go to consumer in 2 years, but you know what? Let's go. I think the product can be a killer for the consumer market. We're going to tweak one or two things, like the controller might be one, but we have something there. We're proud of that. Let's show it to the most people we can and make it affordable. And here we are.
Okay. Wow.
That was like a very fast track.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're going to go more into detail, but first of all, I want to know about the lenses. Right, the lenses, they are nothing that I've ever seen before. And yeah, you're showing it here to us. It's completely crazy. The crazy lenses.
That's all the money in AR.
Yeah, right? yeah. Exactly. It looks like a diamond, like a raw diamond. So tell us a bit more about it. I heard the story. It has something to do that you want to have like a camera in the lens looking at the eye. Is it correct?
So there are a few. So when you're looking at optics in HMDs, it's only a story of trade-offs. It's
okay.
You have this matrix of all the features you want, and you have to compromise. You want like field of view or eye relief or all that. And you can't check all the boxes. So the advantages of this lens, I can tell you some of them. The first one was when we intend to have eye tracking in the headset. And we removed eye tracking for the consumer version because it would have been too expensive. Okay. But the lens is like this, and your eyes is looking in that direction, and the display is here. Uh-huh. And inside the lens, we could put here a tiny camera that would look directly at your eye, and you would not see that camera because it's looking at your eye through a micro lens at the center of the lens. Maybe if I zoom, you can see maybe the lens, the tiny micro lens at the center. Mm-hmm. It's really very small, but you can fit a camera behind that with another lens. So we wanted to have the best view for eye tracking. So that was one point. But the more important point was with this lens, you can have a much more compact headset. And why do you want a compact headset? You want a compact headset for the weight, of course. But when you're doing pass-through, and this is something the Quest is still lacking, when you're doing pass-through, you want the camera of the pass-through to be as close as your eye as possible, to diminish the parallax, especially in the rotation of your head. If you have two cameras here and you're moving your head, the camera speed is just not the same, and the projection of the image won't look very good. And you can see on the image here, the way we filmed this footage, we left the left part of the image. This is the direct view of your peripheral vision. And you can see that the transition between what's virtual at the center and the left part of the image is almost perfect.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, really.
Yeah, I mean, we put a lot of effort in the reprojection and the way, how we align the camera and all that, and the optics of the camera itself to have this result. And when you have bigger headset like the Quest or the Vario, they will not open the peripheral vision. And I can tell you why, because the headsets are too bulky and the cameras are too far apart. So you cannot have close-up objects like that will look like they're being seen with your eyes without any shift in translation. So the lenses are used for the small headset, and they are also used for the resolution. The way this lens works, it's folding the light with mirrors. And you can see there are 4 parts of the lens. Like you can distinctly see 4 quadrants, okay?
Right.
And on the LCD of our HMD, we are displaying almost 4 times the same image with a specific shader. It doesn't have any latency. It's like a reprojection. And the 4 images are combined in the lens to form only one. And at the center of the image and along the axis, we are doing something called pixel interlacing. So you have 2 times or 4 times the same pixel information form into one point. So your eye believes that there is more information than there really is rendered on the display. So this is also why the footage looks so good, even though the resolution is only 1600 by 1600, which is not like 4K by 4K,
It sounds almost like a similar kind of process to like super sampling in a way, in a strange way, from what you're describing there, where you're getting these 4 separate images and interlacing them as you put it together. It's almost like that adds the information, the perceived information anyway, and gives you a higher resolution. One of the questions we were getting asked earlier on quite a lot actually is what is the actual resolution of both the cameras and the display itself?
So you're asking about the resolution of the camera and the display, right?
Yes, yeah.
So the display is 1600 by 1600, and the camera is also 1600 by 1600. And they are both synchronized, so, for the latency and all that. But the lens, with 90 degrees, you can calculate the pixel per degree. So 1600 divided by 90, and you can augment that a little at the center of the image with the pixel interlacing we are doing in this area. It's a small cone where your fovea needs more information than the rest of your visual system. So I guess the PPD, the pixel per degree, is 17, but a bit more at the center.
Okay.
Like it's at 18, and it can go up to 20.
Okay.
Which is, it's not the resolution of your eye, which is at the center between 50 and 60 pixel per degree, which is very high.
Yeah.
The Vario headset can do that, for example, with all the power they need to compute all that. But I'm not telling you too much, but we already have on the table Lynx version 2, and the progress of the displays and the lenses are honestly amazing. So I'm sure you will enjoy Lynx version 1 with the Kickstarter coming up, and it's a great way to support us and continue the work to a version 2 and a version 3.
Just quickly on this specific, sorry, Sebastian, just quickly before we move on, because this is another question. I think you mentioned this in your live stream anyway, but you have a 90 hertz display and the cameras also run at 90 hertz. Is that correct? So they're basically one-to-one anyway with the information they're getting and passing through. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to confirm that as well.
Okay, cool. We have some more questions from our audience here. Sampler 19. Hello, Sampler. Will there be ghosting in the area of overlapping pixels or some kind of similar effect?
No. There is no ghosting. There won't be any smearing as well in the image or speckles. No, we're not saying that. You can analyze frame by frame the footage on YouTube if you want. We are going to release more and more footage, see directly through the lens and rendered on the display. No, and not a lot of headset manufacturers are doing that because some of them are maybe ashamed of the final renders. But we will show everything to you because with COVID the trade show are closed and we can't let you experience the device like at CES or the places we wanted to go this year. So don't worry. Maybe Carl Kutaj will analyze that on his blog. Maybe some experts will dive in, but I'm not saying that today.
Okay, great. I have more questions about the lenses because they are so special. Do we have something like God rays that the Fresnel lenses are plagued with? I suppose not, because it looks like very clear look-through lenses.
No. So
no. Okay.
So you might when you're using the headset in AR mode, like without the VR cover, you might see, and you can see that in the YouTube video. You can see some reflection of the light, like the light that you might have in the room or the sun, but it's very minor. It shouldn't be too disturbing for you. But those are not God rays.
Okay.
And there will be less reflections because in front of the lens here is a GoPro. And the GoPro is much smaller than your head. Your head will block a lot of the light coming
from the sides. Okay.
Just quickly as well, just to clear this up, because this is a question that we get asked all the time whenever somebody talks about the Lynx headset. When it's in VR mode, you have this extra interface, don't you? This facial interface that attaches onto it. So there's no light bleed when you're in VR mode at all.
So there are I think 20 magnets in the Lynx R1, and a few of them are to be used with when you want to put the VR foam, the VR pad on your head. I showed that. I don't have it here in my home, but on my last stream on our YouTube channel, I showed that at the office that we will of course provide a VR phone when you want to use the headset in immersive mode. Yeah.
Okay, good. Then it has IPD adjustment, and what I found interesting is it's not just simple IPD adjustment where the lenses move in the same way. You can adjust the right independently from the left, right? Because not everyone has exactly the perfect eye distance, right? So I think that is a cool thing that you thought about it.
Yeah, thank you. We do not cover 100% of the population because no one will ever do that. But we were able to desynchronize the lens IPD movement, and the range is 56 millimeters to 72, which is also not the full range of the population, but it's 95%, which is good enough.
Okay.
One of the things you were mentioning about the placement of the cameras being important in order to provide this pass through. You were talking about the depth of the headset there. So these are very close, to keep them as close to the position of your eye as possible. Now, how important is it, based on like your research, I would imagine, on when you adjust these IPD, so you get from the extremes of one IPD to the other IPD, how important is the camera placement to get a good experience, and can that be corrected through software to match your position of the eye?
It's only corrected by software, and that's a good question you can ask. Like, why isn't the RGB camera not moving when you move the lens? We had a version of Lynx that moved everything, with the camera, but we couldn't perceive any difference. So we removed that mechanical part, and we are only doing some reprojection of the divergence thing, like the horizontal shift.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the future, I'm not saying too much here again, but the ideal placement of the camera would be directly, the virtual plane of the the optical plane of the camera should be at the same distance as where your eye is, and
should be in your eyes.
Yeah.
So
you should implant it in your eyes.
Yeah, it's virtually in your eye, and we are already with mirrors you can fold the light path. And there are some stuff that need to be tried, and
so you can trick it into basically thinking it's like at the position of where your eye is by using mirrors and stuff. Yeah.
So that would be the best, the best placement, because you would not have any parallax at all.
Yeah.
And there are some ways to do that, and we're trying everything. We want to evaluate everything, and if it's worth it, then we will invest in that and in this kind of solutions. There is also, the focus of the camera. Like you can use when your camera is changing depth, like an eye. Right now, the focus of our camera is fixed, so everything is clear, which is not how your eye is functioning.
Of course.
But we already have a cool stuff that is working, with liquid optics, where you put like an electrical current in between like two different liquids, and it will change the focus very fast of the camera. So there are stuff that needs
absolutely
to be tried.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Were Oculus working on something like that one time in the past, or?
Yeah, everyone worked on that.
Yeah, because they had this other idea as well, I think, where in order to get the variable sort of distance, the focal planes, they had this other thing of passing, in order to get the thickness of the headset down, they had a different thing. I can't remember.
Very focused display, or?
Yeah, it was on that. Was it the Half Moon prototype that they did? They've probably abandoned it now.
So that was using liquid crystals, liquid crystals, 6 different planes of liquid crystals.
That sounds right.
That was like R&D. I'm not sure it can fit in a product, but it's definitely interesting. There is also pancake lenses. We have some at the office that we're testing. There are like tons of ways to do VR and AR, and
it's always a trade-off. Yeah,
try to pick the right ones.
Yeah, some people are mentioning light field. That's not what I was thinking of, but light field's another thing that people are really interested in at the moment in terms of like capture, of light fields, but also light field displays that we've seen recently as well. And it's all interesting stuff, isn't it? We could get into all of that, I suppose, but we should move on.
Yeah, but you know what? But you know what? I'm still so fascinated by those lenses, and that actually Stan's team chose them because it's so different. And well, you know, Stan, what I want to find out. Who came up with this idea, and how was this meeting when somebody said, you know, Stan, we could make this kind of shape of lenses. What do you think? Tell us a bit about this moment and your decision-making process to say, yep, that sounds like a good idea. Because I think like making these kind of new lenses, which are not standard, well, I think they are not standard. Right? I don't know about other applications of this. Yeah. It must be very expensive to get those lenses done, right? To make the machines to cut the lenses from glass or whatever. Tell us about this moment.
So it's with so the lens. The optical block is designed by us at Lynx. I have 2 people working on that almost full time. But the lens itself, this object, is designed by a Spanish company. So we are a French company, and we're working with Spanish companies to do the optical design of this lens. And I met them at a show in San Francisco in 2019. And you know, I people doing AR and VR, like making the HMD, it's a very small family. Everyone knows everyone. And I was, you know, getting new to this game, and I was meeting these scientist people and these very specialized companies. And this Spanish company is called Limbak, Limbak, and their product, they're optical engineers designing high performance VR optics. And they had this new lens architecture that looks like this kind of lens. It's not exactly the same. And they made me try it, and the way they made me try it was like 30 seconds demo, you know, the killer demo, where they put a smartphone and two of the lenses on it, and they put it in front of my eyes, and it was so thin that the smartphone was eating my nose.
Wow.
It was like, okay, that's thin, and I need that, you know, for the pass through, and the resolution was great also. So there are some trade-offs to this lens. You know, no lens is perfect, but for that particular headset, this is the perfect lens for Lynx version 1. And I'm very happy that we have been working very hard with these Spanish companies to bring that product, you know, that optical product to consumers. The way it's working, it's magical. The distortion is crazy. But
hopefully there's no distortion.
Yeah, you don't see any distortion. But
right.
Display
it does. Okay. Right.
Like 34, and it's a very high polynomial function. It's crazy to compute, and we did all the tooling to manufacture that, and you know, just take one picture for the headset to get the calibration working. It was quite a challenge for not only for optical engineers, but for software engineers and mechanical engineers. Yeah.
Wow, so interesting.
Yeah. It's I can't wait to have people feedback from these lenses. And right now we have the final lenses that will be assembled in the first headsets at the end of August, and you might be able to try them if you want, if you fancy to come to Paris.
Yeah, Paris is a very beautiful city. Been there before and liked it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I would love to look through that. Cool. Yeah, so we finished talking about the lenses now. Even I could talk about it more, but we want to keep it like around 2 hours. So let's go to the next point. And now this is a really important point. So I totally understand the use case for enterprise. Now you want to bring this headset to consumers with a Kickstarter. The big question is, why should consumers be excited about this headset? What can they do with the headset? I think that is the question that you have to answer.
Simple answer, they can do everything they know about VR, like play their games and use them as a VR headset for the same kind of affordable price. and they can do even more than that by experiencing the first AR, like true AMR games and new kinds of entertainment that we're going to see. They will be at the forefront of innovation with Lynx. That we are going to be the first, if not, like one of the first headsets to bring these new capabilities. So everything plus new content on AR, new experiences, and a feature that I like also is a lack of a feature is the lack of Facebook login.
Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's something that needs to be said as well. Yeah,
Okay.
my business, I cannot sell my hardware at a loss like Facebook. I need to make money. I need to exist and to pay my guys. So we cannot be at the same price as the Quest, but I will earn money with the hardware for the businesses and on the content for consumers. We are not making money with the hardware sold to consumers. This is not the idea. But I'm not selling at a loss and betting on your privacy that you're going to give me. This is not my business. I just don't care. I don't want to care about what you're doing with the headset.
Well, hooray! somebody in chat just said, and this is actually a big one. I don't know about perhaps not so much in the States, but I think also there are people who think about these topics, of course, for sure. But here in Germany, it is probably extreme. Like we cannot even buy the Quest because of our rules of making business. Our government and our rules say no. This is not how things should go with the Quest 2. And we can actually import it from Amazon France, which is a funny thing. But actually here in Germany we cannot buy the Quest, and I think it's good to have an option where you can do everything with it, and you don't have this kind of bitter taste that okay, actually it's about me. It's about I am the product. I am the product. And I help them to make money by them knowing what I would like to look at. So I think that's a good point. That's a really, really good point for me. For me, like both things are like, okay, I'm for sure going to buy your headset. I'm for sure going to support your Kickstarter. I'm going to back you because for me, like I'm an enthusiast, right? I need to have the new stuff. And this pass-through thing that you showed here, it's absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to see what cool things the creative people will bring onto that device. And I'm sure there's going to be some kind of community of creators that will go crazy on this. Is that something that you foresee? That there's going to be a community of developers, or is there already a community of developers who want to use this?
So there are many developers that contacted us saying, hey, I want to port my existing apps or a new app on Lynx, and we are very happy with that, and we're going to help them, provide the SDK, be again very transparent with them with the roadmap we have for the hardware. And you have to start somewhere. We are starting with the hardware, and then the software and the content and all the magic will come. But if we do not start with another hardware like the Lynx, we are going to be stuck with what's existing on the market. And I'm not happy with that. You're not happy with that. I'm trying to do something about it. Maybe it's not the right thing. I don't know. But I believe it is. My team also, a lot of people are around us, so I have a very good feeling about it. But the only way it is going to work is we're going to see enough orders on the Kickstarter, and if the people that look at this show are talking to their friends about it, and make people conscious about the alternatives we need.
Okay, it's like David against Goliath again, and let's support David here.
It's exciting. It's a risky business, but I think it's worth doing.
Just quickly on the content side of things, you did mention this in your live stream as well, but for people that didn't see that, there's two big issues with this headset. one, I mean, we'll get into all of this stuff anyway. I know the controllers, people want to know about the controllers, which I'm sure we'll get to.
We will talk about next
The other
time,
thing on the content, since we were talking about that, it's very important, the content side. One of the interesting things you mentioned in your live stream yesterday is some potential, I mean, I know it's sort of early days, but you did mention it with Sidequest being a possibility, some kind of collaboration or something like that with Sidequest, but I know that's early days at the moment.
We have a good contact with Sidequest. They might even come to Paris to evaluate the hardware and see if they want to continue the discussion for using their technology to work with us on distributing content on Lynx.
Yeah.
And, I personally would be very happy with that.
That would be a big win.
It would be a big win, I think, also for the community, for Lynx, for Sidequest. I cannot disclose a lot. Of course, we have an NDA and all that, but we're discussing. We're trying to both do the right stuff, but we are discussing with Sidequest for the content distribution, the architecture of how things should be distributed and authenticated and paid on the headset, and how things will work. This is new to me, to Lynx. This is something that Sidequest has a lot of experience that we want to leverage. They also have a very good community of developers that are using Sidequest to if you're not accepted on Oculus store, you might want to publish on Sidequest. So we also want to appeal to those developers as well. So I think it's a win-win. Discussion is not over. I'm not ready at all to make any announcement, but I can tell you we are discussing with them in the right way.
I just think it would be a great thing for them to get on board with, and it sort of appeals to the kind of ethics that they have as well over at Sidequest, and to the kind of headset that you're producing. It appeals to those kinds of ethics that they started with, I think, in some ways. So I think it would be great for them to provide the infrastructure as a delivery platform to your headset. It would be great. But I'll listen out for that in the future when you're ready to reveal more about that. Yeah.
You have to let us work a bit more, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I totally agree with you, Gary, because especially at the beginning, or even still, Sidequest is full of interesting apps, like all these the first hand tracking demos were on Sidequest, right there. Yeah. So there's lots of these things. They would make so much sense on the Lynx because the hardware is even better. I think you're using the Ultraleap sensors, which are like way better than simply optics, right? Is it? So I think that's incredible. So the things that could be done on this headset, together with this incredible pass-through that we saw in the videos, I think those tinkerers, those developers, those creative people, they could make magic. And having like a store the side of Sidequest, it would be a win-win situation for both companies. So Stan, really, looking forward to your talks with the Sidequest guys, and let's see what happens from that. What I want to understand, Stan, probably you can give us some insight on that question. How easy is it for a developer to port something that is now on Sidequest, that is made for the Quest 2, to port this onto the Lynx? Tell us, people who don't understand that, is that easy?
So it will definitely be very easy when OpenXR will be completely integrated both in Oculus and in Lynx. But for today, it's not a matter of is your content is on Sidequest. It's more like if you're using Unity, it should be very easy. We have a SDK for Unity. It should be even easier if you support the Ultraleap, leap motion tracking. It's using the same SDK. It's very, very easy. The software team at Lynx that are doing like the demos and stuff, they're using Unity to develop. It's very fast. So, OpenXR is going to also bring Unreal support for the Unreal Engine. But right now, if you're working with Unity, it should be really easy to work with Lynx, to get started with that. And the SDK is going to be very soon available. to the developers that sign up for our program.
Okay, and everything's Android, right? So,
So yeah, it's based on Android.
Okay.
So the core OS, the operating system, we compile it at Lynx. We have like a machine that compiles the OS every day with like the Qualcomm release and all that. But we don't integrate the Google layer of Android.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, the privacy stuff.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we have we take great pride in having our kind of own OS for that. Yeah.
Okay, you really take care of privacy, and I love that. I really love that. So I'm wondering about the hand tracking. So it's a different technology than the optical way that the Quest 2 is doing it, and it's better, right? It's a sensor for it, but it's also somehow optical. But I'm wondering, like the software that was made for the Quest games hand tracking. Can you easily port it to your device as well, or is it more complicated?
It depends. We discussed with the Hands Physics Lab guys.
Right, exactly.
They're using
Exactly.
a lot of the deeply integrate hand tracking in their experiences. So for us, it's a bit harder. But if you're using like pinch and grab and very standard hand tracking actions, it should be quite easy, and we are going to look at that on our side to have like an interface to transfer the Oculus APIs to the Lynx hand tracking APIs, which are the Ultraleap the Ultraleap tracking system. As I told you, it's the same hardware, it's the same software. We have dedicated cameras for hand tracking in infrared, and
Okay.
yeah, it's we work with them because based on evaluation, we think it's the best hand tracking system out there still.
I've used because I had so Ultraleap. They were Leap basically, weren't they? They were Leap Motion with the original Leap Motion. They're the same company, aren't they? So I tried the first iteration. I bought one when they first launched and tried hand tracking. Even back then, it was great. Very low latency. That was one of the things that I noticed. It was very
Right.
low latency hand tracking, which is something that the Quest has actually improved on quite a lot. But when that first launched, it was there was a lot of latency there with that, but that was one of the things that I always noticed and thought was great with the Ultraleap solution. So I'm a big believer in hand tracking, by the way. But I know that was your original intent with this device, and you've had to pivot a little bit, and of course we'll get onto that.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I would love to see how well that works. And in your stream, Stan, that I'm going to link later so people can watch your streams, I think you said something like, this is the best hand tracking on the market. So this being the best hand tracking on the market, I mean, this is better than the Quest 2 hand tracking. I must say, I'm pretty amazed by the Quest 2 hand tracking. It's really good, I think.
It's really good with the hardware that they have.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm amazed. Yeah.
So you are better than the Quest 2 hand tracking?
I still think so. Yeah. I mean, we'll have to ask Ultraleap if they validate my statement. But yeah,
Okay.
I do believe we'll have a better.
Okay. Wow. I'm looking forward.
I mean, you
to
can always like trick the headset and do things like like this or
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it's working very, very well.
Okay, great. So it's going to be interesting to see more apps use it and how you would actually integrate it. Would you integrate it somehow into your operating system, or do you have some kind of operating system, like some home environment or something?
Yeah, so we are actually working with Ultraleap on that.
Okay.
On the launcher experience.
Exactly.
Like the home app when you turn Lynx on for the first time, and every time after that. We'll show that at the end of August. Yeah, the home app of Lynx. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's working with hand tracking first, so you can quickly launch your apps and change the settings and all that. Yeah, and they have great experience in that. They have great designers at Ultraleap that help us.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope you will enjoy that too.
All right, great. So people who want to pick this up, you were aiming this now at consumers, probably us, the people who are watching this, right? The enthusiasts, the crazy nerds that have to buy everything first. Let's be honest about this. So they also want to play games. They want to play the games that they have on their gaming PC, and this will work from day one.
So
SteamVR.
Yeah, the goal is to for you to be able on day one to play SteamVR games on Lynx. So you can use your PC to stream with a wire or over Wi-Fi 6 directly to your headset, just like the Quest can be used to today. We are going to support that. We're discussing with SteamVR guys. It will work with the OpenXR runtime. And it is a very important point for me. So yeah, we'll make sure it works well.
Okay, yeah, I think this would be like important for people, obviously, right? Like not every, like I would buy it just for the pass through and for the stuff that's going to happen. But lots of people, of course, obviously, they want to play their games like how they do it on the Quest. So how much more expensive would it be to include Wi-Fi 6E into the device? Because of you have better latencies and stuff?
That was super expensive.
Oh, really?
I think
wow.
I can tell you the price. So we asked for that. We discussed with Qualcomm and other suppliers for Wi-Fi 6E.
Right.
And if we did that, we would have been the first headset to have that. So which means that when you're the first, you pay for the tooling and the testing. And to test a new Wi-Fi protocol on a headset, it's very expensive. It's a lot of tooling. And I think it was the total cost would have been between $250,000 to $300,000. So I say, yeah, you know what? Let's try with Wi-Fi 6 already, and it was working well. So I say, okay. Let's someone else pay for that. You know, like one of the big guys pay for that stuff, and Lynx version 2 will definitely have that kind of protocol. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Like also let's say if the Kickstarter would be crazy successful and suddenly you do have 500,000 extra, would you still consider it, or would it like drag it all out?
So I think that could be a stretch goal. You know, like if we
that would be
like a great level, that will something I will push. But I think we have many things before that we could augment on the headset, like put more money on the materials, on the the controllers,
good point.
The packaging, all
good
that.
Point.
Because Wi-Fi 6 is already super great. It works really nice. We have 2 antennas in the headset for wireless communication. The streaming is working well. Wi-Fi 6E is not at the top of the list, but if the Kickstarters allows that, we'll do it.
Okay, got it. So now let's get to the important point for many. Like many people ask for the controllers, the controllers. So yeah, tell us more about your plans for the controllers. In your stream, you said you're going to use, or you're probably going to use, I'm not sure if you said you are going to use them or you have tried them, these controllers. These are the Finch controllers, Finch shift controllers. And these controllers don't actually work like optically. You would put these things on your ankles, and these have IMUs, and then through that, they can know where you are. And sorry to say that, dear Finch, if you're watching this, I tried that like 2 years ago, and I was not really happy about the accuracy of these controllers. So tell us a bit more about your controller strategy.
So I did not know Finch 2 years ago, but I know what they're doing now. And,
probably they have improved. Could be.
I can't tell you they have improved because I tested them in the headset. and I was surprised how good it was working. I kind of expected like some drift or like
Yeah,
some
right.
mismatch, and it was great. And there's shifting towards using more optical data than only IMU. So I can tell people today that we are compatible with these controllers. We intend to be compatible with more controllers and eventually building our own controllers.
Okay.
This is still in discussions. There are many things. Controllers are not easy.
Yeah, right.
It's not as difficult as the headset, but it is a huge piece of engineering and ergonomics challenges. So it will depend on how the Kickstarter goes. It would definitely be a stretch goal. I think if we reach a certain levels of headsets, we'll ship them with controllers and maybe with Lynx controllers. What I can tell you is that so it's working with Finch, and we tested them like 2 weeks ago, very fast, and it was working almost out of the box. So I have the guarantee that the hardware in Lynx can support controllers. Like with the volume of tracking we have, with the 6 cameras we have, plus the Bluetooth information for the buttons and all that. We have the infrastructure, but the final thoughts I don't know yet. They're still under discussions.
Okay.
Just a couple of things on the Finch controllers that you mentioned on the live stream again yesterday. You did say that the armbands, they're not necessarily required in the solution that
they won't be. They won't be required. They're working. I know they are working with the the hand tracking solution to use the hand tracking cameras to have the armbands removed. So you only got left with the controller.
Yeah.
That would be too cumbersome for the users.
Yeah. The other point as well, which I'm sure this will get to in the Kickstarter with stretch goals and other things that you're working on in the background with your own controllers. But one of the other things that I mentioned earlier, there were a couple of important points. One of them is the delivery system, the software delivery system for your headset. But the other thing is having, in order for it to be positioned as a competitor to the Quest, I think it's absolutely vital that controllers come in the box with the headset, or at least an option. And this was something that you actually reassured me of yesterday when I watched the live stream from a few days ago. You did say that you're working on this kind of thing, possibly with Finch or possibly in a different direction with your own controllers.
So no decision has been yet taken for that, but I absolutely agree that we are going to ship the headset with controllers.
Oh, excellent! Yeah.
And and the best one, I hope. I don't know which one, but it will be at least an option when you check out the headset, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Ikuma Games says, "Give us buttons, Stan. No touchpad, please." And that's something that I did hear from the community quite a lot when talking about your headset. And also, like, I can totally agree with this. Like, I personally don't like the touchpad for the controllers. I think now we have already reached some kind of understanding in this industry with the consumers that people want this Oculus kind of button layout with a normal controller, right, with the different buttons. And in my opinion, I totally agree. I think this touchpad only is not good enough, and people will not like it. Would you agree with that?
I agree with that. Please remember that I did not build these controllers.
Yes, we know.
But I agree with that.
Okay.
And I'm thankful for the feedback.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think Finch has the feedback as well. We're discussing with them quite closely now. As I told you, we also have the capacity to eventually build our own controllers, and trust me, we'll get this right. No matter what we'll hand in the box with the headset, it will be the right stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, but it's not so easy. I mean, the thing is,
we are not doing easy.
I understand. That is a good thing. It's just like it's not so easy to make a controller right? It takes a long time normally. I mean, if you start now to make your controller, then wow, it's not an easy task. I mean, well, yeah, you know that yourself. You know that yourself.
Yeah.
Valve know really well.
Yeah, Valve know.
Controllers
Yeah,
are as well.
exactly. Marcellus Wilson. Nobody said it was easy, and that's why you're doing it. I like it. Yeah, of course. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So it's another big challenge, and the controller part. Wow. That's going, in my eyes, this is like one of the biggest challenges because there is no one controller that you can just buy off the market, which is amazing, right? They do belong to Facebook. They do belong to, I don't know, to Valve or to HP. So yeah, I also don't know how easy it is to speak with those companies that actually develop them, those OEMs in Asia, or like with Finch. I don't know how easy it is for them to make something else. Yeah. You have to figure that out.
I will let you know. We'll communicate on that. That's for sure.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, Gary, any more questions on the controller part?
No, to be honest, I did have quite a few questions because I knew you were coming on this show. And that live stream that you did, I will encourage people, actually, anybody watching this, do go on and watch the live stream that Stan did. I think it was on Thursday, was it? You did a live stream.
Thursday night. So that was the second live stream. There is also another one 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, actually, you did like half of that, I think, was like you giving a talk about where you are with the product. But then the last half of that was actual questions and answers with the audience, the live audience that was watching, which was actually very interesting because we're getting a lot of the same questions in the chat now. And, you know, I will encourage people just to go and watch that because it was a reassuring video to watch for me and actually cemented me. I think I am going to do the Kickstarter. Again, it depends on a few things, but I am really intending to back the Kickstarter on this product based on the back of that live stream, honestly.
Same here. I think you have two backers already. Yeah, you're on the best way to super success. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. So now we talked about streaming. You will be able to stream from day one. That's what you want to achieve together with SteamVR and Valve. That's good. Then you're working on that partnerships with content providers like probably Sidequest. You're in talks. I think that's very interesting. And you're also working on some content on your own. And I have seen you have shown that in your stream, like 15 seconds of some kind of AR game, or I'm not sure exactly what this is or what it's going to be. So I just want to show this again. Oh no, this is your whole, no, not the whole stream. This one. Yeah, people can see it now. Exactly. This is a Lynx, I think. Yep. And yeah, it has a tail and it has like shadow and it's running around and I think it's outside somewhere. Is this your office space? It looks very nice. Oh wow, oh man, you have a very nice office. So tell us a bit more about this. Is it what is this going to be? Is it this just a tech demo, or is it going to be like a full-fledged game? What is this?
It's going to be an open source game that developers would be able to tweak and use to develop their own games. This is like a demo game.
Okay.
And this is just the beginning, but I asked my team to do a very specific demo of a game that kind of feels like, you know, like Nintendo universe with and also with Pokemon Go aspects. But in this demo that you will see at the end of August, there is AR, there is VR, there will be 6DoF, hand tracking, and we want this demo to be short, but to see the full spectrum of what the device is capable of. So it will be a game, and you see at the end of the 15 seconds that like the Lynx is going into a portal of stuff, and you will be able to walk into that and get into the universe of the creature and get back.
Okay.
And it would be very, very compelling and kind of cute, actually. So I hope you will like it. But it's intended to be a base, like a base app, a sample for developers to see what you're capable to do with the device.
Okay.
But it's also like a fully fledged game.
Okay, I understand. So we got a question here from Paradise Decay. Hi, PD. Hope everything is fine with you. He asked, I have a question for Stan. Does sunlight or UV light not affect the headset about the tracking?
No.
Okay.
You can use the headset outdoor. This is one of the cool features for AR. You know, if you try to bring a HoloLens or a Magic Leap outdoor, you will have a hard time to see anything.
Right. I know. So that's why you are supposed to use them outside. But are you really actually believe that people are going to walk outside with the Lynx? It's also not so compatible for outside use, right? For the outlooks.
I think we'll see like some events like in parks and
Okay.
open air areas, but definitely not in the subway or in the
Yeah,
street.
right. Okay.
That's
You mean like some dedicated events?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would probably do it. I would not feel ashamed about this. And and you know what? Actually, here one thing about Dortmund, for some reason, they have like a big Pokemon Go community here, and people from all over the world come to Dortmund because they have some special creatures that they can like catch here. And like on the Sundays, it's full of people who run around with multiple phones, like catching the Pokemon. And I know probably you can pull something off with this, and some people do wear this if it's compelling enough, right? The game, so that might be interesting.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you've seen it already, so that's you're making it. Yeah,
I'm also biased. But,
yeah, you're a little bit of bias, but that's okay. We understand. We understand. So, what do you think? What kind of content will consumers use? Like, what will I do with this? Like, what is the use case? What is exciting?
I think in one word it's games.
Okay.
Today really is about games, 100%. First in VR, second in AR. You know, like we are pioneering the AR games, and after games are some professional use. But that's that's another business that we are doing with the headset.
Okay.
But mainly for
Games.
what we're going to support the most now are games. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And we have a user here. He wants X-ray vision use. I like the idea.
We actually built a pass-through headset for firefighters and soldiers. Where I'm going to show a video of that next time. But you don't have color cameras. You have like HDR cameras. And you can see through smoke, you can see through explosions, through a fire, and this is where pass-through is really showing its potential. If you have a camera that not only see color but better stuff than the eye, you truly have superpowers.
Yeah, I love this.
The point that you mentioned just before then was on games. I agree with that. I think at the moment in where we are today in terms of VR games, is sort of the focus and stuff like that. One of the interesting things that sort of Oculus are sort of pushing for, they're going in this direction with this pass through, is to have this what they call infinite office kind of thing, where you could put up several monitors, and by having the level of pass through that you've got in the Lynx, that could be quite a big benefit. I know it's more towards the enterprise and the productivity kind of market area once again, rather than possibly the consumer enthusiast market that you're now pivoted to. But even those kinds of people, because personally I could see myself sitting at my dining room table with the Lynx headset on and have these 3 monitor displays in front of me, pair it with a keyboard and mouse, Bluetooth, and do all of this stuff. That would be fantastic. That's an incredible thing that Facebook are trying to do with the Oculus Quest 2, but their pass-through isn't really up to it at the moment. What do you think?
I think right now with the state-of-the-art hardware, it's great for video conferencing. Jedi console video conferencing, but to work with a headset, to have the pixel resolution you need, you will have to wait for Lynx version 2 or the next hardware of the other companies, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair enough, yeah.
Right. Yeah, last show I was half joking about this app where I put an AR headset on my wife's face, and then whenever she sees me, like it will automatically augment me to have like this bodybuilder body instead of
You're
my
too
belly.
modest, Sebastian. We know that's under there anyway.
No, it's not true. So yeah, that's some funny filter that could happen, something like this, right?
Yeah, and there are some application for adult entertainment.
Yeah. I would
And
try
we
it
had-
for scientific reasons.
But we are in contact also with companies working in this space that are interested by the potential, and that is also something that is going to be interesting, of course. But we're more focused on games.
Okay.
We won't be like Facebook, like like banning all kind of adult stuff. But I don't know what will happen there. I'm not a professional in this area enough to see where it's going to go.
Yeah, there is quite some potential, I would think there is. So yeah, we have some other questions before. Let me find it now. Let's see. Oh, now I lost it. We had some good questions here. Yeah, if you see some good questions, you can also answer them.
A fun thing I learned is that in the statistics of the Quest users, like Facebook saw that the Quest 2 was used more by women compared to the Quest 1. In the data that they got from the Facebook logins.
Yeah.
But in fact, it was logins from the mother for the kid that they bought the headset for.
Okay. Right. Got it. Yeah. Okay. So lots of interesting use cases, and I'm looking forward to what the community will make for this headset. Right. Once they have these tools, the community is unbelievable with what they can come up. So
yeah, and I truly can't wait what you guys are going to do. Like people watching this show, what you want to build, and how good it will look with our headset. Yeah.
Right. So tell us about your Kickstarter. When is it going to go down? It's quite soon, right? I mean, we are now tomorrow's August already. So tell us when it's going to happen.
So what is going to happen is we want to start the Kickstarter in the first half of September, and it's going to last for 3 weeks or maybe 30 days, and after it should be quick. We will have the truth about what people think about Lynx, and we will have also people try the headset, come in Paris, try it. So then they can have people can have feedback, not only from us, of course, that is important. And then after, we are 100% going to manufacture that headset with our Taiwanese suppliers and our Qualcomm and all the partners we already have and been working with for the last 2 years now. So we really can't wait to ship this thing now.
Okay.
We won't be ready for Christmas, but the target is February, and I think we can do the first shipments can be before that. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to happen in September. People must be ready. It's going to be like a couple of weeks, so people cannot miss it. Are you building some kind of community around it? Like, do you have like a mailing list? How do you have?
Thousands of people actually are subscribed to our mailing list. You can subscribe on our website. You just put your email in the only field that there is on the website.
Okay, perfect. Let me show that right now.
And then we're going to send you the updates and all that. You can see also on the website that we are doing a specific headset for the Kickstarter, a transparent front face of the headset where you can look even more like a nerd than when you have a regular headset.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need to look more like a nerd. Thank you, Stan.
I mean, it's a very specific headset to show your pride and see everything inside and how technical it is. And
I like it.
I love that.
Yeah, I love it too, actually. And actually, that's the thumbnail of today's show is exactly this. So people can pick up this transparent version, like it's like limited, or tell us more about the different tiers, perhaps.
It has the same features. It's the same headset. We're just changing the materials of the front cover to be plastic transparent. But we're only going to build maybe 1,000 maximum of these headsets. So it's going to be limited also in time and in number. So if you want this one, it will be a little more expensive. It's also going to show the support you can give us. But yeah, it's a limited edition for the Kickstarter. So there will be the first headset, like the base model, the transparent one, and there will also be a book and some other stuff. If you cannot afford the headset but want to show your support, you will be able to buy stuff from us as well.
Okay, but you are hinting at a price that us enthusiasts can afford.
Yeah, we did a lot of effort. The price will be revealed. The target is end of third week of August, because we are going to show you other stuff as well, not only the price. It's going to be as affordable as possible. Again, let me be very transparent with you. We are not going to earn money with the consumer hardware. We are going to sell it how much it costs for us to build. We will make money with the business edition and also the content that you're buying on the headset, maybe with Sidequest or another store system. The hardware, it's as cheap as possible because we want to distribute it to the most people possible. It cannot be as cheap as the Quest because Facebook is selling that at a loss, and I cannot afford some billions to do that yet. But I wish I could. But this is not the world we live in. But we have to start somewhere, right? So this is what's going to happen.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I like the idea that you're making profits with enterprises that get more service, right? And who are ready to pay more than this consumer price that you're going to reveal soon. And simply give us, like the enthusiast, the hardware basically for free. I mean, it's not going to be free, but you're not like making money with the hardware, and you're not like making money with us as consumers, right? We're not the product like we are with the Quest 2. So yeah, that's cool. I like the idea of this kind of like subsidizing it with enterprise. Mm-hmm.
This is where we're going to see if we really can win at this game. If we're just selling the hardware, not making any profit for that, and that people don't use it after, we are going to run out of business maybe. So we will succeed if people use the headset after. If they use that, if they buy content on it, if the businesses use that, we will be successful. It's not on selling plastic and electronics just for fun. We want to bring the product to life with the community. So it's going to be a huge effort. It's like millions of dollars, and we have the support with the Kickstarter from the community. We also have support in Europe more and more. We are getting like grants and all that, and people are realizing that it's important, on many aspects.
Okay, great. There's still something that we didn't touch on, like Brian just asked about storage.
Yeah. So all the models are the same. It's 128 gigabytes of storage, but there is a SD card on the side.
I love this.
Yeah.
This is great. This is really good.
Storage has really no limit if you have the right SD card for your use case. So I think storage won't really be an issue with this hardware.
Okay, and how about battery? Sorry, Gary. How about battery?
Okay.
How about battery?
Yeah.
Like
3 hours.
3 hours. Wow, that's good.
3 hours of use. Yeah.
Excellent. There was just very quickly, there was a question. Norman did ask this specifically as a question, so I wanted to get this in. It's an interesting point. Perhaps you can comment on it. He's asked, is there room within the unique lens design to increase the field of view beyond 90 degrees in the future within the Lynx? I guess, using different, because of the way it warps the image or distorts the image in before it gets into your eyes. Is there any way that you could sort of leverage that in order to increase field of view in some way? I don't know.
They are we are evaluating solution for the future of hardware at Lynx that have a bigger field of view. I'm going to give you a very small hint, but I have 3 colleagues in my team that were working at SteamVR, which was
Yes.
Yeah.
I spoke to some French people at SteamVR actually. I like them.
So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, my colleagues were working on a 200 degrees headset that didn't hit the market because of non-technical issues. But we have experiences with very small field of view, very large, and right now the first version is 90 degrees. And we will see for the future what's best for our users, but it's only going to get bigger for sure.
Okay. That's
And
that's
not with the same lens architecture.
right.
Not with the same lens architecture, different kind of. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Probably, yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So you want to produce this and send it out in February. Now that is kind of a aggressive schedule, I would say, if you understand the industry. I mean, you do obviously, but the thing is, with all the supply shortage, with all the stuff that's going on, with lots of companies not getting the parts that they need, and those lead times, which are like super long, and like it's so tough. How can you be so confident that you can do February? And especially, how can you, as a small 15 people startup, pull this off? Make us understand how this is possible.
Good, great question. So we secured the 2 most important and delicate pieces of hardware of electronics in the headset, which is the XR2, the Qualcomm chipset, and the display. The lead time we're seeing right now are either on display or chipsets. Maybe some the cameras as well, but those are the parts that are problematic right now. And we are a 15-person company. But like we are like this, but we have Qualcomm behind us with like that in the supply chain game, and they're making sure, like on the side we have enough resources to live on. So I bought displays a few months ago already, and the first batches of camera will be here as well in September. And after the Kickstarter, I will order the rest of the components, which is mostly the plastic molds and all that. But the electronics is mostly secured. This is why I'm insisting on the February target, because I know we can achieve that. I won't be able to say that if, like Qualcomm would call me and say, what are you saying? You cannot possibly do that. So.
Okay. Yeah, tell us a bit more about it. So how did this whole thing happen? Like, it seems like Qualcomm is supporting you, or Qualcomm has a very close relationship with you. And you, in your stream, which I like very much, you also gave us more insight about Taiwanese factories that you're working with. And this kind of connection is all established by Qualcomm. Make us understand how this happened.
So basically, you want to make a headset, okay? You're
right.
You're me, and you want to start a new headset.
Yeah, thinking about
It's
it.
untethered, so you go to see Qualcomm, because no other chipsets in the
Of
world
course.
can power untethered XR devices.
Okay.
And Qualcomm will provide you, if you pay them, of course, because you're a partner, but you're also a customer with them. They will provide you documentation and support. That is quite expensive, but it's quite good when you know how to work with them. And then they have this network of OEMs and companies that are mostly in Asia, and we are working not with a Chinese OEM like Facebook. We are working with a Taiwanese company called
Big difference
Compa.
here. Yep.
Yeah, trust me, it's a big difference.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
So Facebook is working with Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is manufacturing all the Quest headsets, and we are manufacturing with Compal. For those who don't know this company, they are building the Apple Watch. They're building like billions of computers. They know their stuff. I don't know what they know. They're doing their job incredibly well. I visited them a few times already with my team. I'm 100% confident that the hardware that will go out of Compal, shipped directly to you, will be amazing. Much better than what we are manufacturing in our office, for sure.
Okay.
So, and this is thanks to Qualcomm, of course. I won't even be able to talk with them without, being introduced by Qualcomm.
Wow. So
And you
so
know
so
that.
yeah, you're right. So that partnership with Qualcomm is actually really the key to get to the production lines and to get to know Compal and to make this, right? So wow, that's really really interesting. Gary, we have the blueprint now. How to make a headset?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. Wow. This is really cool. It's amazing that you're sharing this, Stan, because this is so interesting, right? How this actually can be done by a 15-man team, and I think that will give people lots of confidence, right? Because if you wouldn't have these connections through Qualcomm, yeah, people would probably not trust this because they would think like, how can you as 15 people make this happen?
That's impossible. Yeah. So
yeah, right.
You don't have to imagine us as a 15
Right.
person company. You have to see all the partners around, and I
course.
think it's close to 100 people working on the headset. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's so interesting. And you know what? We already talked for 2 hours and 11 minutes, but I still want to go a bit longer if you have the time, Stan.
I have the time.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Gary, you're also still with us?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Okay, because really, I think it's so interesting. Now I want to know about you, Stan. I want to get to know you a bit better, and people here as well, because you are a young guy. You're under 30, right? I think 28 or so, like very young, and 27 even, right? That's amazing, and I want to understand how you, as such a young person, how did you have the idea, or how did you get into this position? What is your background? Are you an electrical engineering major? How did you get into the Next Dimension podcast, making a headset?
Yeah. So I'm mostly a software engineer major. I have a equivalent of a master degree in France for engineering. And I met the Oculus DK2 in my school. And,
Okay.
So I tried VR when I was in school, and I thought to myself, well, that's cool, but I cannot see through the headset. If I want to see through the headset, you have to remove it and from the cables and stuff. So the first thing you start to do is you put a webcam in front of the headset, and then you get it back on the display. And I was doing augmented reality without knowing it was augmented reality.
Wow.
And I showed
That's
that
cool.
to my friends, and they say, "Hey, that's a good idea. You should dive more into that." And then I met incredible people that helped me, build a real company. And,
Wait, not so fast. Because there's, I think, more to it. So I also had the DK2, and I looked through it, and I was amazed. And then I knew, okay, I have to do something with VR at one point in time, and now I'm doing it. So, but I didn't even think about like pass through. I was amazed by VR. Just VR was so new, right? But it was not enough for you. So why did
the first thing I did was put a camera on it.
Yeah, why did you want to see the real world? I mean, you just escaped the real world.
Because at the roots of that idea, I wanted to have a device. That was a long time ago, but I wanted to have a device that could show me the Wi-Fi waves around me. To be able to visualize things that your eye cannot see, and it was like on the, like Wi-Fi signal, and this is why I put a camera on the headset to see the real world. So So maybe an app developer will do something like that one day. But this is how I started, and I got more interested in the headset than the app idea afterwards. And along the way, I met people that are friends and mentors, like way older than me, that guided me and say, well, this is called AR, and this is how you're supposed to do that. And they were very kind. One of them is Bernard Kress. He made a book about how to, build AR and VR stuff that is like 300 pages that you can buy it. He's a very eminent person in the hardware game for AR. He's the optical architect of HoloLens, and before that he was working on the Google Glass, so he's very well known. And I was fortunate enough to meet them, and they were, the ecosystem is very kind. When there is someone new and young like me, people were very welcoming. Instead of get back to school and maybe get back after 10 years of experience in the industry.
Okay.
This is not how this ecosystem happens when you look at Palmer Luckey, for example.
Right.
This is not at all. He started even younger than me, and he did something even more amazing. And we won't have this discussion without this guy. And I happened to have met him not so long ago, and he was also very, very helpful and giving advices and being constructive, giving critics, but also trying to bring people up in the AR and VR world. So yeah, I think I met the right people, and I just worked a lot, man.
Okay, yeah, I totally believe you. So you were still in school, and you were making these projects, and you meet all the people who like what you're building. But at what point in time did you have the feeling or the idea? You know what? I go out of school and I directly start a company, and I make headsets, hardware, something crazy, competing against the likes of Oculus. When did that happen? And how was it? And tell us a bit about the formation of the company, because you need funding, right? You cannot just, go out of school and then make a headset. It's a bit more complicated. So tell us about that part.
So I was still in school. I was an intern in an innovation lab in Paris, and they agreed to bootstrap a company with me. I was an intern.
Wow, perfect.
And so there were three of us, like me, like the major shareholder of the company, like the founder, and then this big company that's bring some support, a desk, infrastructure when I was alone. And the third guy is one of my mentor. He was a 4-star general in the French Air Force and a jet fighter pilot. So he knows very well what is augmented reality. And I met him during a dinner, and he tried my prototype, and he said, "Wow, that's better than anything I saw in my career. So let me help you."
Wow,
and
nice.
I got some funding from this beginning, and I was alone doing everything. It was, of course, not enough. And with the prototype, I convinced more people to finance. And in August 2019, I did a 2 million seed round for the company.
Congratulations.
Which was enough to bootstrap the team. Yeah.
Wow, that is cool. That is really amazing that you managed to get that 2 million. And then you, with that money, you built that team, right? And the team, is everyone really in Paris physically? And how did you find? Oh, really? Okay, cool.
We are all working in the same room. This is very important because when you're working in this very complex engineering challenge, you need everyone to understand almost everything. Like when there is a problem with the optics, I want the software engineer to know. And sometimes they will even talk between them and find solution that they couldn't think with only their specialty. You know what I mean?
I understand.
So yeah, we work in the same room. Everyone is in Paris, and we are hiring also, by the way, in September, if the Kickstarter goes well, of course. But if you want to work in France, if you're in France or want to work in Paris, we're hiring all kind of engineers.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah. So if there are some engineers who want to work on mixed reality, wow, please send your application to
Yeah.
Stan. So that's interesting. Very, very cool. What an amazing story. And I really think that our audience understands you better now. And I'm really impressed by your heart. Yeah, by your boldness to take on Facebook as a 15-man team, as a very young guy. And I really applaud you for that. And I will absolutely back you. And you're backer number one. I will directly back you. And I have the feeling lots of the people who are watching this channel will also back you, because this is like enthusiasts are on this channel. And I think it's exactly the right thing. Right, Gary, would you agree?
I agree, yeah. And I most likely will be backing you. I don't want to say 100% at this stage, because it all depends on finance and stuff like that when it comes down to it.
Of
but
course.
I'm extremely interested. I've never backed. I have backed things on Kickstarter before, but they've been very small things. Nothing really. Just like £20 or €20, whatever, that kind of amount of money. I've never backed anything big like this, and this will be the first one that I'm going to jump on. And so I'm very excited, and I think it will be great for this to be a very successful Kickstarter, because not only would it show the amount of enthusiasm for this kind of hardware, this kind of mixed reality headset, this AR, this VR kind of headset, but it will also show a level of confidence in the product and allow developers to have a level of confidence in the product as well, which is going to be integral from that point. I hope it's a great success for you, and you can get these out there early next year. That will be fantastic.
We with this Kickstarter, it's also a Kickstarter because it will be like a message, like to the community. Like, if it's successful, it will send a very strong message that the biggest strength of Oculus is Facebook, like the money they have, but it's also the biggest weakness because the brand is very damaged to the consumer.
Yes.
Yeah. For a reason.
I think for some reasons. That, we don't have the time tonight to list all of them. But you won't see me in front of Congress anytime soon for the same reason, for sure.
Yeah, agreed. And wow, I see so much support. I see so many people here in the chat who say, wow, I'm going to back this for sure. And I totally agree with you, Stan. This being successful would absolutely send a strong message, and it would show that the community wants something else. They want a headset, a standalone headset that is not about your privacy. They want to support this, and I'm really happy to see that here in the chat, and I have the feeling the community really supports what you do, and I'm excited about it. Cool.
I'm very thankful.
Great. Yeah, and let's wrap it up here. And if there is one last thing that you would want the community to do, like probably sign up for the mailing list or whatever, now is the time for you to tell them what they should do.
I think the thing you have to remember is if you like the product, if you like the kind of mission we're on, the best thing you can do is talk about it, because we're not like a very big company, like a famous company. We're reaching more and more people, but it's through you. It's through the Sebastian, Gary, but also the audience. We need to get the word out, not only in Europe but everywhere, that there is an alternative coming. That is not Facebook. That is not even a big company that can run the same kind of hardware and content that exists. And we are trying to catch up, of course, on the content, but we can definitely do it. And now is the time. If this doesn't succeed, and I'm telling that to my team as well, if Lynx doesn't succeed, I don't see a lot of other initiative today that can emerge as being a competitor to Facebook. And I think Facebook would win the game. Mm-hmm. I don't. Maybe Apple could do something, but so pass the word on and sign up to our newsletter and keep an eye on our YouTube channel. We are going to show some very cool stuff as well.
Okay. You heard Stan here. Absolutely spread the word. Give this a thumbs up. Share this on Twitter. Look at Stan's YouTube channel. I'm going to link everything in the show notes so you can directly click there and do sign up for the mailing list so you will get to know about the Kickstarter. But for sure here on MRTV, I will also cover that Kickstarter and hopefully have you again here on the show. For sure. I'll have you again here for sure. There's no question about it. Man, Stan, thank you so much for being our guest here tonight and for us having the chance to get to know you and your exciting project. There was an absolute amazing episode of the Next Dimension podcast. Yeah, so for all the people who are watching this right now, if you enjoyed it as well, give this a thumbs up, do all the good stuff, and share this with others so other people can get to know Stan as we get to know him now and get to know the exciting project and also join the Kickstarter to support this amazing project and get this headset, which I'm really looking forward to look through. This is really, I want to look through that headset so bad. Yeah, so thanks for do give this a thumbs up, and also if you have not yet given the Next Dimension podcast a 5-star review on iTunes, do that now. Get out your podcast, find the podcast app on your iPhone and iPad, and find the Next Dimension podcast. That would help us out a lot. And now we're looking forward to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, we're still live. Stan, this is something about the show where we're still a bit live and still like an after talk, very short, like a few minutes. And yeah, what were your thoughts about the show?
Well, it was. I think it went well. The question asked were very good. They were
thank
very
you, man.
important.
Your answers too.
I enjoyed getting to know you, like Gary and Sebastian, and like passionate people about MR. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, same feeling here. What's your feeling, Gary, about the show?
Yeah, it was great. It was like I said, there was a little bit of wind taken out of my sails when you did that live stream a few days ago, Stan, because you answered a lot of my concerns, and it was great to get that perspective from you. Anyway, but also clarify a few things, and I think it's great having. You mentioned before the show about the transparency of your business and things like that. Yes, exactly. I think that is something that is extremely appealing to people. And by having you on shows like this, where you can get interaction with the audience, these live streams where they can ask questions and you can see these questions, even if we don't necessarily get to all the ones during the show, you can go back and look at the questions and respond and things like this as well. It's very important having this interaction with the community, especially with a product like this, I believe. So it's fantastic you're able to come on all of these shows, promote the Kickstarter. And it's been fantastic talking to you today.
Totally agreed. Thanks. Really, really cool. And again, just like Gary said, love the transparency, love that you're so approachable, telling us everything about it, like also the hard parts, right? It's so cool. And I have a very, very good feeling. I'm very positive about the Kickstarter because people can tell that you're in this with your full heart and your full passion, and that it's hard. It's not easy what you're doing. Just like you said, you could probably work for these companies easily. You could get a great paycheck from Facebook probably. Probably you had already an offer or I don't know. Anyways, you could easily do that, but no, you see there's something wrong. Like I also agree with that, right? Right now, the direction that it's taking, I don't want virtual reality to become Facebook reality. Really no. And it's great that there are some companies who would do something like this. And wow, my full support. And again, I think that was an amazing episode of the Next Dimension podcast. Okay, that's now really everything. And thanks a lot, everybody, for watching. And we're looking forward to see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.